Because I've known you since you were born. If you were told, I've stayed with your dad a couple of times, and so I knew you right from birth. And to see the woman that you have become today makes me extremely proud. And it also convinces me about something, which is the importance of good education, good upbringing. And I want to salute your dad, your mom, for a job well done. And so I'll read your bio, and then we'll ask if you feel very free. Don't be in a hurry. Just relax.
Yeah, relax.
Relax. It's a free flow of information.
All right.
Yeah. Her name is Ifedayo Durosinmi-Etti. Over 10 years of management and leadership experience working in the fashion, marketing, and manufacturing industries. She holds a first degree in biochemistry and an MBA in global business. We'll be talking about that later to find out why people go first and then they come back. Prior to moving back to Nigeria in 2012, she worked with the Ifedayo Group PLC, a British multinational retailing company headquartered in London, and Aspire Acquisition. Sorry, I don't know what's wrong with my phone. It keeps going off. I think it's my face recognition thing that is.
Okay, it's not showing here. It's very clear here.
It's very clear here. Okay, fantastic. Yeah. Okay. So a British multinational retailing company headquartered in London and Aspire Acquisitions. She later joined Nigerian Breweries, Heineken operating company in Nigeria, as a young African talent and transitioned to their corporate communications department as corporate social responsibility and sustainability support manager, where she successfully managed various corporate social responsibility and sustainable projects. Ifedayo is also an associate member of the Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria, APCON. She is the managing partner for AGS Tribe, a social enterprise created to democratize opportunities for entrepreneurs and non-profits in Africa. It's also a platform that brings female entrepreneurs together to form cross-border relationships with the aim of transforming Africa. She's very passionate, as you can see, about women and youth contributing to national development and has been able to empower entrepreneurs through funding, mentorship, and training, amongst other projects. Recently, she launched a $1 million Women Empowerment Fund to fund female businesses in Nigeria. That deserves a standing ovation. Transform Africa by the Tony Elumelu Foundation, and she's currently one of the alumni hub leads for the Southwest region of Nigeria under the foundation. She's also a beneficiary of the Variant Advisory and winner of the Premier Super Startup competition. In 2017, she received an award from Vivian Fowler College for Girls, one of Nigeria's best secondary schools, in recognition of her contribution to women empowerment. And in 2018, she also received the Women's Advocacy Award from the West African Leadership Organization for exemplary leadership and dedication to the socio-economic development in West Africa. She was selected as a global shaper of the World Economic Forum, a community of young people across the world making an impact in their respective communities and under the community. She's the project lead for Startup Dome, a project launched to bridge the gender gap through socioeconomic empowerment of women in Nigeria. In March 2018, She was invited to Harvard University to serve as a panelist during the African Development Conference to discuss the role of women in democracy and foreign affairs, and was then selected to receive mentorship from world-renowned artist and businessman, a member for Solutions for Youth Employment, global coalition formed by the World Bank aimed at providing catalytic support to employment and productive work for 150 million youth by 2030. In December 2019, she was listed as one of the 52 women who made impact in 2019, and this
yes, so
yes, so Ifedayo, you are welcome. I'm sure. Yes, I can see so many people are watching already, so it shows your impact. So could you kindly introduce yourself to us?
After that gross introduction, okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you all so much for coming on this session. My name is Durosinmi-Etti, like he said. I'm the founder and managing partner of AGS Tribe, a platform that pretty much connects women to each other and to opportunities like grants, loans, scholarships, jobs, and all of that. We currently have over 1,000 members in our community, and we're growing every day. So I'm sure at the end of this conversation, you guys want to join the AGS Tribe. So thank you, Mr. Dele Momodu, for inviting me. I'm super, super honored to be here. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's start from your formative years that prepared you for the... And let's know maybe there were things that happened along the line that contributed to what you're doing now.
Okay, so my primary school was in Abyssinia International School. I'm sure a lot of people here know Abyssinia International School. I loved the school because it was really, really sports oriented. So I learned how to swim there. I learned basketball there. So that was my primary school. Primary schools who were not really sports oriented didn't really learn those things, and those things really, really helped me, throughout my years, even up until when I went to secondary school and university. So I'm very good with my friends. I'm very good with keeping those relationships that helped me even till today. So I'm super excited that I went to Abyssinia. I hope one day I can actually go back and give something back to them, because when I was like, I didn't even know that a lot of people didn't know how to swim. Just little skills like that can separate you from other people. Because I know that everybody went to school, everybody can do stuff, find that it can actually separate you from other people. So I'm super excited that I went to Abyssinia Primary School.
Okay, before we go to your secondary school, let me say how lucky and privileged you were. I went to a school that was so local that it was called Local Authority Primary School in Dele. So there was nothing called swimming pool. I can't remember at what day I saw a swimming pool first time. So maybe I imagined it in my dream. And interestingly, just this evening, Mr. Ned Nwoko was inviting me to his place in Abuja so I can come and learn how to swim. So I hope I'll take up the challenge.
There's hope.
There is still hope, yes.
Hope.
Then your secondary school.
Yeah, I went to Vivian Fowler Secondary School, which was an all-girls school. And I feel like I was very free when I was in Vivian Fowler because of the things because there were no guys there. So we're very free, we're very relaxed, we really, really bonded. I mean, my first job ever, the job in London, was a recommendation by one of my friends who was in secondary school with me. When I went to have my daughter, same thing, one of my friends who went to secondary school with me, I stayed at her house, I didn't have to pay anything. So I'm super proud of my friends from secondary school. The knowledge from Vivian Fowler, even till now, is still one of the best schools that are there, for people to go to. I learned so much. I learned chess in secondary school, and chess is one of the things that teaches you strategy as you get older. And I was obsessed with chess from a very, very young age. Like, you'd see me during break time and everything. I've flipped up my chessboard, I'm playing and I'm learning strategy. And you don't really know how these things really affect your mind. So right now, today, I'm very, very calculated. I think about things, way ahead of time. And because I was also in hostel, so I was in hostel throughout. So me and my have belong together. We still do a lot of things together. And I feel like in secondary school, everyone knows that your secondary school friends are your friends that you have forever. And I'm honored that, I still kept those friendships. Like, even the people who weren't in my set, my seniors, my juniors, were all still like one big family. I still, like, I'm sure when you read out my profile, you must have heard that they gave me an award. So I'm still very, very in touch with my secondary school. I still go back there. I still try to give back. So that is one school that I know that, really, really impacted me throughout my secondary school life, and even till date. They still try to keep in touch. They still want all of us to come back. We all help ourselves in any way that we can. So secondary school was really, really, good for me. And, I just carried on a lot of the skills that I had learned from secondary school from primary school down to secondary school. So they really helped me in my, early formative years.
Well, it's good. You are a very proud ambassador of the schools you attended, and they must also be very proud of you. And I'm sure you can easily advertise for them, because the way you sold them tonight, I'm sure many people, especially those who want to send their kids back home to Nigeria, you've already recommended 2 good schools to them tonight. So the schools, thank you. Go to somewhere else. Can you tell us, your recollections of your childhood days? Outside school, we go to school maybe maximum 6-8 hours a day. So then what do you do with the rest? What were you doing with the rest of your time?
I think I was always with my cousins. So I come from a very huge family, like, and we're a lot. We're a lot, so we're always together. So I was always with my cousins. After school, we'd go to, their house, and they'll come to my house, and we just used to try to like hang out and just create memories. We used to travel together. We pretty much did everything together, my cousins and I. And till today, we're all still, one big family. Yeah, so those are some of the things I remember from, growing up, doing like competitions, chess competitions with other people from other schools, going to parties, stuff like that. So yeah, those are some of the things that I really.
But did you ever spend time in Abeokuta at any time?
Oh yes, during Ileya, yes, during Ileya, I always used to go there. When my dad was in government there, I was always there. I still go till now. I was there like, a few weeks ago. I'm always in Abeokuta. I do stuff a lot in Abeokuta. Yeah, so I always go back home.
I know about you. Even me, I used to go to Lafayette,
Yes, I like that.
I have fresh memories of going to your family house with my best friend, Prince Damola Aderemi, Yemi Aderemi, and all of them. We used to go to our hotel. Fantastic. So from Vivian Fowler, where did you go?
I went to still thinking I was going to travel because I was thinking I was going to travel, and at first I didn't like it, so I was just playing. I didn't really understand what I wanted to do because I got into university very young. I was 15. I was very confused. And I thank God for the way things eventually panned out, because I still turned out okay. But at first, in the beginning, going into university very young, and I would always advise people, the A-level when I was 9, graduated at 15, got into things like that, really, really, made the difference for me, sailed through. So I did biochemistry in university, and I thought I really, really loved it eventually, because I love the theoretical aspect of biochemistry. But when I did an internship at May and Baker, I realized that I didn't really like back office work and all of that. But what Covenant University really helped me with was my entrepreneurial development and total man development. So at the time, they used to tell us, we had a lot of courses in Covenant. And I used to wonder, because my friends and cousins and stuff like that, they used to only do like 3 or 4 courses in their schools. My Covenant will do like 10, and I used to wonder, would impact me later on, which is now. So a lot of people didn't really have any entrepreneurial training, but I was lucky enough to have it throughout my university. So those really helped me to do all the things that I'm doing now. So because I had taken some entrepreneurial courses, I knew that, okay, let me try my hands on things. So when I was in Covenant, I used to sell, things little by little. I'll sell handbags, I'll sell hair, I'll sell stuff like that. So I was trying my hand, on a lot of things. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. But at the end of my third level, I knew that I wasn't going to continue with biochemistry, like in terms of like looking for a job. So immediately after, I got a job with Standard Chartered Bank, and I loved it. I was speaking to customers. It was really interesting. I loved, customer facing stuff. So I was like, okay, this is what I really, really want to do. So I decided that, you know what, I don't want anybody to push me back into either the brewery or back office work and stuff like that. So I said, you know what, let me work a little bit and then go and do an MBA so that I don't have to go back, to work in like a pharmaceutical company or something like that. And the funny thing was, when I was doing my interview with Nigerian breweries, they were trying to tell me, are you sure you don't want to go with science and stuff like that? So I really wanted to do something different. I wanted something like marketing or communications. So eventually I ended up in the communications department after I finished my master's. So during my master's, I've always been like a hustler, like a go-getter. I was very, very sure that I was going to come back to Nigeria, even though I could, stay in the UK. So I already started looking for a job from day one of my school, like in Nigeria. So like third month into my MBA, I already got a job in Nigeria with Fidelity Bank. So I knew that, okay, I already had that. So I knew that I was coming back to Nigeria anyway. Whether or not I ever got the job, I knew I was going to come back to Nigeria. So I already had that, but I said, you know what, I'm going to continue looking for other jobs. So I started looking and looking. So other people, I had interviews and all. And then eventually I had the interview with Nigerian Breeze, and it looked like, I was going to get the job. And eventually, I got the job. So my time, like, that's how I transited. Because I know that you're going to ask me, how did I move from biochemistry to MBA to communications? My life has been very confusing, but I've ended up, bringing all those skills together, because even what I do now with things like that. So everything I learned in my biochemistry days still comes into play. My MBA days, marketing, all the things I learned, finance, even though I don't really like finance, but all of them have really, really helped me be the person that I am today. And I'm grateful for all the experiences. I'm grateful that I went to Abyssinia. I'm grateful that I went to Covenant, Via Fowler. Even my MBA school, I went to Coventry in the UK, and I'm excited that I went there because it really gave me, because I went to the MBA school in London, which is the business school, and it was really, really serious. So it wasn't really like, it was almost like Covenant, but like a different version of Covenant, because Covenant, you can't wear jeans, you can't wear all those things, you have to look really serious.
I'm going to talk about Covenant, that a lot of people that I knew Covenant used to complain so much, you can't take telephones in, and some people had to smuggle in their... I wanted to say about Covenant, I mean, for the benefit of parents, do you think at this time and age it is proper to say people cannot use telephones in school?
No, I don't think people should stop their actions. I don't think, even if a phone is going to distract you, let them make that mistake so that they can learn from it. Because at the end of the day, when you finish school, you're going to be exposed to these things. But I'm happy with other things. But that phone was like, I was like,
phone thing, and
I don't understand it.
Yes, I understand that. Yes, they are trying to enforce discipline. That's fine. But when you enforce too much discipline, people rebel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I have friends whose kids went to that school, and you'll be shocked when you're asking questions from the girls, and they say, "Oh, some of my friends, they smuggle in phones. Sometimes they get caught, then they either suspend or expel them, and then people sneak in at night and have to go and bribe the gate man to be able to go out." I think it's too stringent.
Yeah, really, really stringent.
Everyone is watching who has the influence there. The truth is that, yes, discipline is good, but sometimes too much discipline misleads
the rebel.
Make them to rebel. You can even say, okay, you can't use phones from 8 to 8 a.m.
Exactly.
Yeah. You must keep your phone in your lockers But to say don't bring phone to the school, I think that is too. That is too.
Yeah.
So apart from that, what else would you tell us about? Because I could see from all the schools you attended, it seemed that was the one that made you a bit uncomfortable.
It did at first, but I'm still excited that I went, because towards the end I now understood how the university was. You know, I had already blended in very well. So eventually I coped, and it was an awesome experience, to be honest. Like, my friends from Covenant, they're all here. I've been seeing them commenting and everything. We're all still friends. But maybe I'm very intentional about relationship building and all of that. So maybe that's why it's different. But I realized that even now we're all one big family. We all support each other. Like, anytime I launch a product, you know, Covenant people, they're on fire. They're promoting me, you know. And if you talk to employers, they tell you that Covenant University students, you know, a lot of things that people that went to other schools didn't know, we knew them. You know, I think even we are even more disciplined, even with all the, you know, running around we used to do being sneaky and all of that. But I think that we're all still very disciplined, because, you know, it's still, I think the school really passed through us. You know, people that went to Covenant, and I think Papa's prayers are really working in our lives, because most people that went to Covenant are actually doing well in their businesses, in their careers, and also impacting lives around them. So I think Covenant is by far, I think, the best school in Nigeria and university by far.
I like you so much. You're a good marketer. You've marketed all the 3 schools you attended in Nigeria right now.
That's me. I'm a marketer. I'm a marketer. And anything I believe it to the end. Like, my friends call me one-way traffic. So I'm just one way. Like, once I believe it, that's it. To the end. Hopefully when our kids are going to school, they'll have softened the no phones rule, and then that's it. We'll be good to go.
So would you allow your kids to go to university in Nigeria?
Oh yes. By then I'll be president, so my all the standards will be high.
Oh, you plan to be president? Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
All the standards will be high.
You're following in the steps of your grandfather.
Yes.
Like Adegbenro.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so now one. So, okay, after you've completed all your education, so tell me step by step, stage by stage, what you have done till now.
Till now, okay. So after university, I worked in
Coventry for your MBA. You said.
Okay, so yes, I went to Coventry for my MBA, but the business school in London. So during that, I worked full time, even though I was doing my MBA full time. So, like I said, I'm a hustler, and I had plans that when I come back to Nigeria, I was going to have saved up enough to do stuff. So I was working full time and doing my MBA full time. And during that time, there's a program called Careers in Africa, a program where employers across the world, all the big, multinationals come and look for talent and bring them back to Nigeria. So I applied, and I was selected to attend the program, and then we're able to go submit our CVs, speak to different employers, stuff like that. So that was how I was able to meet a lot of people. Some people even took us to South Africa for interviews. Like I was very, very particular about coming back to Nigeria, so I made sure that I attended two of those programs. At first, I wanted marketing, but they didn't give me marketing in quotes. I eventually did my training and stuff in corporate comms, and eventually got a role in corporate communications. And I didn't really understand that, because at first I was sad. I didn't really understand that God was preparing me for all the things I'm doing now. So I was CSR accessibility support manager. So I was working on our education trust fund. I was working on our projects, all the schools that we used to build across Nigeria. I was in charge of it. So I learned how to manage like different projects at different times. So a lot of people may have gotten that skill from maybe project management, but because I did those things like practically every day. So now people look at me and they say, "If you're doing so much, how do you do it?" I'm like, this is my life. Like, I don't even understand. Like, for me, I'm not even doing anything at all. but I did that for 5 years. So you can imagine the kind of experience and stuff that I got in Nigerian Breeze. That's another place I'm totally grateful for, because I was able to touch on different departments. So I worked in logistics, I worked in sales, I worked in marketing. I also did trainings, outside of Nigerian breweries, like PR trainings and stuff like that. So it was really like very holistic for me. And I learned a lot. While I was there, I decided to, after I had my daughter, I realized that nobody was making furniture in Nigeria. So furniture for children. So I decided to do some research, and I saw that, okay, nobody's doing this thing. Let me see how, we can start it. So my business partner and I decided to start a furniture making company for children. Then I was ready to retire in Nigerian Breeze. Like I was going to work, get to the top of my career and just, retire. But when I started working with, when I started, the business, it started getting a lot of traction. People were just calling us from all over Nigeria to order. And I realized that, okay, this thing, okay, if people can believe in us like this, like that means there's something here. Then we started winning grants and stuff. And that was what made me, that was like the stamp of approval, because we won like a grant from the Durosinmi-Etti Foundation, and it really, really gave us a lot of visibility and stuff. So after some time, I was like, okay, maybe we should focus, full time on the business. So I left Nigerian Breeze, and my business partner also left, where she was working, and then we started, focusing on the business full time. But while I was doing that, because of this, the CSR background that I had and my passion for women empowerment, I was already doing stuff for women, already, doing some little trainings here and there. I was already even helping the Durosinmi-Etti Foundation host different workshops and all that to teach other people about how to apply for the program and stuff. So this was a skill that I didn't even know I had, like in terms of like grant writing. So my book as well is on grant writing, which is this book. So I didn't really realize that it was a skill I had until people started meeting me to help them review the applications, stuff like that. So because of all my my effort with the foundation, that was when I was nominated to be the hub lead, the alumni hub lead for Southwest. People, when you get access to one opportunity, all the opportunities just start coming. We started getting interviews, Guardian and Business Day, they started contacting us, and it just started growing and growing and growing like that. And I realized that, so my book is called Accessing Grants for Startups, and my company now is called AGS Tribe, which is like the acronym of the book. So how we started out was, I just wanted to show people that there are opportunities for people in Nigeria, and I wanted women to be the ones applying for them, because what I found was any places I was going to, even if I'm in America, London, I was always seeing the same set of people, that were in those places. And I'm like, how come these people are keeping this information to themselves? Where are they going to that they're finding this information? So in my book, I have like 30 different opportunities that usually come up every year. But people started asking me, okay, so because I know that new ones also come out. So I decided to now create, a platform where I can continue posting more of these opportunities. And that's how AGS Tribe started. So it was first just a page on social media where we just used to post opportunities, stuff like that. We also have our own grants that we also give out to women. And from there, we said, you know what, this thing is getting bigger and bigger. I cannot hold everybody's hand. If you want, some sort of hand-holding, peer-to-peer mentorship, access to more opportunities, even training you how to apply for these opportunities and stuff, then we'll create like a community so that we can all help each other. And that's what we've done. So I started the actual community in December, and right now we've grown to over 1,400 women, and it's growing every day. And soon we're launching something soon, and I cannot wait for everybody to see that. But in all honesty, the lives that have been impacted through these programs that we've done, the sessions and everything, have been mind-blowing. Like the beneficiaries from our programs, I've seen their lives transform, their revenue triple just because of the training and the funding that we give these women. Even just having the access to the network that we have. I have my one of my partners and like my Platform Capital, who also supports me in program properly and they're selected, then they have access to get more funding. So it's been an amazing journey just seeing these lives transform, and it gives me all the fulfillment I need. At first, everything was free. I was happy, go lucky, impacting the lives and everything. But we decided that if it was going to be something that was sustainable, then people have to pay at least a stipend to be able to access some of these services. And that was how we now started, the community. So it's been an amazing journey. We lost a member of our community, the lady who was killed by her husband, and he later killed himself. The news was all over the media, and members of our community, obviously now they are orphans. May her soul rest in peace. But it's such a strong community of people who are willing to help each other, and there's nothing more powerful than that. And we'll only get bigger and bigger and bigger. We'll always be able to help each other. I feel like women, people say women don't support each other. We actually support each other. We will help each other. Once people see that, once they can change their mindset, it gets better. I know that women tend to be, more chilled. They don't really want to take advantage of opportunities, but we try to push them that, see, this opportunity is there. You need to apply. Like, my life has been a testimony. Like, even I don't do anything through my parents. Like, I don't wait for them to help me out with anything. I've been able, like, I tell my dad after I've done stuff, I'm like, okay, well done, stuff like that. I've been a hustler from when I was very young. And I always tell women, you don't need to wait for anybody to give anything to you. You don't need to have connections. You just need to be ready to take advantage of opportunities. You need to take the bull by the horn. Nobody's coming to give you anything. Like, you cannot wait for government to give you anything. You need to create opportunities. And if you're really, really creating value, government, individuals, and everybody will come to support you. So those are some of the things I try to tell the women to do, and things have happened for me in my life, and I'm a testimony. And they see it. Sometimes I'll be sitting down and I'll get a call, come and do this here, and it helps me. It helps me with my business. It helps me with my visibility. It helps my income. Things like that. So women need to really, really take the bull by the horn, and that nothing is going to happen if you don't actually take that first step.
So why are you discriminating against us?
I'm not, but men have had everything easy. Like when I see men, like everywhere I go to, I see men. I'm always the only woman, or maybe we'll be two women max. So I feel like there's so many other opportunities for men. We actually have men in our platform, but the focus is women. But men are happy. We're happy to let men take advantage of some of the opportunities as well. But women, we need to take advantage of the opportunities. My program that I started, this AGS Enterprise Challenge, is actually on now, the one for the grants. And guess what? We don't even have applications. I'm like, we're about to give you guys funding for your business for free, and women are not applying. And I don't understand it. And later they'll be saying, we don't have money. Government is not helping us. The truth is, you don't even know where this thing will take you to. When I was applying for the Durosinmi-Etti Foundation program, entrepreneurship program, I didn't know that I was going to eventually get recommended by them to be part of the World Bank, the board that I'm on. So people don't really understand. When I was applying, I didn't know that all those things were going to happen. I've gone with them to Egypt. I've gone with them to different countries. They're ready to showcase me to anybody. And that's what happens when you're doing well. The organizations that you're a part of would want to continue promoting you. So people don't really understand the ripple effect of. They don't have foresight. They don't really want to think about the things. They're lazy. All we asked them to do was to do a 1-minute pitch video. That's all, and upload on social media. And they're scared. They're like, I don't want anybody to see me. What if I don't win? Do it for the visibility, even if you don't win. They don't get it. Oh God. It's so painful. You don't understand.
No, even if you look at the number of people on social media who watch anytime I'm interviewing someone like yourself, I would expect thousands of women to take advantage of this opportunity and watch. No, but let me bring people. But we won't give up. We won't give up. We must continue. Those who want to learn will learn. Those who don't want to learn, no problem at all. Okay, just for the benefit of at least those who are watching us, could you tell some of the process, despite the fact that I know I'm eminently qualified to, but it's like the secret about it. You mentioned it too. It's like a secret cult. I see a lot of my colleagues who are journalists. They've gone on grants, in China and everywhere. There I am, And, so if you could just let us know
some things to look out for. Okay, so firstly, a lot of grants that are available, especially for businesses, or most of the time, they always cap it at 35. So I always tell women, or men, anybody who wants to apply, take advantage of those opportunities from when you're young. Secondly, when you're applying, you need to give it to a professional to look at it. Because trust me, sometimes people have amazing businesses, but they don't know how to express it on paper. So I've reviewed a lot of thousands of applications. I helped to review her application. And when I saw it, I said, you will not even get ₦1 from me if I was the one who was actually going to and everything. She eventually got into that program. So people don't understand that. And you also need to speak to people who have also been to those programs. And as you continue doing that, you continue to refine your responses. Like if they ask you a question, some of the questions that they ask you, what are your leadership skills? What's your personal profile? Give me a scenario when you've been able to prove that you're a leader. Things like that. When they ask you a question like that, like give me a scenario, you need to use the STAR principle, which is situation, task, action, and results. You don't just go above and beyond and just start writing long terminologies or big grammar. Just keep it simple. Once you use that STAR principle like that, you'll be able to capture their attention. And most of these applications are also limited by word count. So you need to be able to respond very, very intelligently and keep it within the word count. Things like that. So if they ask you for your personal profile, I prefer to respond in third person. When you respond in third person, you also sound very intellectual. Some people go above and they start saying things like, oh, I come from a family of 5. Nobody cares about that. Just be very straightforward. Say your name, what you do, maybe the name of your company, your background, like educational background, things like that. Keep it short and simple. And and you can also brag about yourself a little bit. You don't need to lie, but you can brag about yourself a little bit. How you're passionate about, solving the sustainable development goals. Those are things that those kind of people want to hear. They're not there to hear, oh, I'm cooking rice every day at home, and then I have 10. Very intentional about the words that you pick. There's some, social enterprise. There's some words that you just drop that anybody who's reading it will be like, this one, she's smart, things like that. So that's why I always tell people, give it to somebody, who understands how to write, to review the application for a properly. That's why we always see the same set of people. I've reviewed plenty of applications, and sometimes the truth is that there is not enough space. Like there are times, like I was just selected for the Mandela Washington Fellowship. I applied 3 times, so that's 3. It took me 3 years to get selected, and I just got selected this year. But guess what? I reviewed other people's applications, and they got in last year. So sometimes it's not even about you. It's not even about the fact that you're not smart. I couldn't even believe it. I'm like, people did not pick me up. Kind of thing. But eventually I got selected. So my point is, sometimes it might just be destiny, it might just be luck. Obviously with a good application, that's the barest minimum. You have to have, an excellent application. And it might just be like that your destiny helper is not going to be there that time. Maybe it's better for you to get on it in 2020 as opposed to 2019. Just different scenarios like that. And it's important for you to position yourself. Join communities. Don't work in silos. Some people want to get access to these opportunities. They don't want anybody to know that they're applying because they don't want their friends to apply. You're just doing yourself. Work with communities. It's my community members that are going to hear first. Obviously, I cannot talk about it first. So those are some of the things that, being part of communities help you with. And if you're not there, if you're working in silos, if nobody knows what you're doing, if nobody knows you're an entrepreneur, you will not be recommended. There are times where people will tell me, if I recommend 5 people, there was the Dutch Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They were doing something last year, a program, the One Young World program, and I was the person who was selecting. I was the person who was selecting actually, shortlisting, and then they now selected like the final 10. So I was able to like shortlist to like 20. So things like that. Sometimes you might just, because you're part of that program already, you might have extra advantage. You might have some slots depending on who is working on that application. If nobody knows you exist, you're not going to be called. Visibility is very, very, very important for any entrepreneur. Anytime you have an opportunity to talk about your business, talk about yourself, pitch yourself. You have to promote yourself. Nobody's going to come and promote you.
Wow.
See how I mentioned that I'm going to be president. It was very intentional. So things like that. I wasn't to be on record. Things like that. So you have to be very, very intentional anytime you have you're doing anything important. People think PR is only for the big companies, and I was lucky, maybe because I was in corporate communications. I used to see the effort companies used to put into getting in the news every day. Like some people, that's their job in those organizations. But SMEs tend to be scared to put themselves out there. They're like, oh no, I don't want to put myself out there. I don't want anybody to know what I'm doing. Let me just be chopping my money small. You're killing yourself. Because when the opportunities come, so while you're packaging and making yourself look pretty on the outside, also continue developing yourself. Self-development is very, very, very important for every entrepreneur. You have to continually reinvest in yourself, come up with different ways to continue projecting yourself, learning new things. You cannot be the same person that you were last year. People will get tired. Continue doing things differently, and you'll see everything will add up, everything will come together.
Wow. Now, how do you deal with the preponderance of bad belly people? Yes.
Oh my God.
When we were starting Ovation, imagine your mind will go to Branson. If you mention Branson, your mind will go to Virgin.
Yeah.
And then I try to do that. That even if you look at my Instagram handle, it's Dele Momodu Ovation.
Yeah.
Building that double brand. But I realized that a lot of people were getting jealous, were getting angry. What's wrong with him? He's always posting his picture. How can I meet Her Majesty the Queen? And you tell me not to post the picture. I meet American president. You tell me not to post the pictures. So how are you able to deal with that? That has been my own personal experience. People say, "Oh, I just post pictures, so he must be arrogant. He must be vain." Well, in my own case, I didn't mind. You can abuse me as long as you can continue to grumble.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm exactly like you. I don't care. So, and I made that decision in 2019 at the beginning of last year. I just said, because before I used to be scared of posting, people would be like, you're posting too much. This time my captions were too long on social media. But now different companies are coming to meet me to come and teach them storytelling. So sometimes when you don't listen to the naysayers, they will fall off the back, like they'll fall off. It doesn't really matter what people say. And I've developed a very, very thick skin. Like I laugh. I see these things on social media, people talking about me, or somebody saying something. I really don't care. At the end of the day, you want to be me. So it doesn't matter. If you met the president, you will post it too. So don't lie. Some people say they want to be private. I think it just depends on the kind of person that you are. Just accept people for who they are and mind your own, business. So it doesn't really matter to me what anybody thinks. At first it's difficult when you go. It looks like you're doing something good. People will always talk. So just get ready. And, one of my boss, Dr. Toyaki Dele, he tells me all the time, he said, Ife, there'll always be haters. Like, don't listen. Don't pay attention to the haters. Just pay attention to people who are, with you, who are, supporting you and all of that. So I don't really care what people say. They will say it and eventually they'll be all right.
They will be all right. I like that.
All right, last.
Okay. For young people, a lot of young Africans, and especially in Nigeria, because of our youth population, tend to believe they must look for jobs in offices, in companies, white-collar jobs, in civil service, and they are looking for jobs that are not available and are not likely to be available forever. So how does one deal with the issues of unemployment, and what do they need to do as starters to even have something doing instead of waiting forever?
I always tell people, like, you don't need to wait anymore because the world is very digital. Learn a skill. So there are a lot of skills that, things like that people don't want to do it. So you can start doing it. You can start helping people manage their social media pages. People don't know how to do that stuff. Graphic design is something that is people are learning like this. You can start helping people with creating logos. I have a corporate communications company as well. It's something that I do on the side. So, things like that, things that people don't really think about, just start doing it. Like, there is no reason why you should not be earning an income. I tell people, like things like helping people review the applications, because I actually charge for those kind of things. They're things that give me extra income. And I've been able to monetize those things. Before, people come and meet me, if you help me, I put a price to it. The first person who came into my DM was someone that I really, really looked up to. And I was like, oh, okay, so this thing is something that people actually pay for. So, but people don't really realize that there are things that people don't want to do. People are just looking for people to help them do it. Once you start doing it, even if you're earning 10K a day, it will add up. Or 10K every other day, it will add up. And once you continue, the word will go out there. I don't even advertise it. But I get customers all the time. People telling me, oh, come and help me do my personal profile, come and do my brand identity, come and help me review application. I get it every other day. And these are things that, I just make money from on the side. So there's no reason right now to just be relaxed. There are different ways to earn an income. That managing of social media, if you just post on your Instagram that, oh, I'm helping people now to manage their social media, you get at least 2 people. And they can pay you like 20K a month. That is okay. If you get to people, before you know, you to move to 4 will move to 16, like that. So there's no reason these days to just sit down and do nothing. I tell women all the time, you can't do that. Someone called me this morning and she was like, oh, her husband said she shouldn't work, so she's not working. I don't like to put my mouth in husband and wife matter, but I said, you need to earn an income. You can't just sit down because she wanted to get a loan for a program that I'm currently running. And I told her that getting a loan was not the right step to do, even though I would have wanted to just collect her money at the end of the day because she would have paid for the program. But I said, loan to pay for this loan. If it was just a loan you just wanted to get, for a program, I can understand that. But because she already told me the story and it was like she was robbing Peter to pay Paul, I said, that's not the right approach. Why don't you have so and so amount? These are some of the things that you can do. I know you're a smart babe. You can't tell me you can't do this. Go and learn the work. And before you know it, by next week, you'll be earning an income. That's how simple it is, So don't wait out for anybody to come and give you a job. If you're not getting one, look for things that you can do on the side, and the job will come for you. And you can do it from home, even if your husband says it shouldn't work.
So your theory is that of Onoko Owoja.
Kowoja.
So many roads lead to one market.
Kowoja business, and we're trying to really, really scale very quickly. So it's the income I earn from all these other things that sustain me, and I don't think I'm doing badly. So
you don't have to wait for a man before you take care of yourself.
No. Everybody knows me. That one, you can't wait for anybody. We can help each other. My husband is here. He helps me. I help him too. It's not a thing of, waiting for, my husband to give me money or give me anything. No, that's not what it is. Everybody, comes together. We do things together. If I want to vex and, just buy something nice for myself, I'll buy it. I don't have to wait and, say, please come and give me, or wait for, no. I don't think that's the life I want to live.
I I think a lot of media houses should actually engage you and bring you to talk to them about monetizing talents. Journalists are the poorest professionals in Nigeria. They are very passionate. You are a good writer. You are influential. You go from place to place. People recognize you, but no money. You know, yeah. When we started innovation, we had that issue. You will see your friends, all my friends, they are doing wedding, they are doing funeral, they are doing birthday parties. They expect me to come and cover it free of charge. And I tell them, if, let's say, you are a car dealer, will I walk into your car lot and pick a Range Rover and go away? You know, but journalists, we go and they will tell you, oh, journalists. So from what you are saying, I can see why we are very poor as professionals. King Sunny Ade. What is King Sunny Ade coming to do? He's come and praise you. You are dancing. But the man, he showed the world how beautiful your party was. You don't want to pay. So that was how they putting us in their budget. We had to change the orientation. But people thought journalists were lambs of God who take away the sins of the earth. So it'd be nice to have someone like you talk to them. Now, what is the importance of importance of training? I realized that a lot of people they are laid back, they are doing the same thing over and over again. They don't know the latest things. People wonder, can a 60-year-old man like me be doing Instagram live? And I said, hey, if I sit down at home and thinking and I'm looking at my age, so how do you deal with the issue?
I try to just develop myself all the time. So there are a lot of trainers on social media that I feel connected to that have the information that I think I need. So I attend some of their programs. I also go on Udemy, I go on Coursera just to rejig everything that I know. It's important, like you have to continue developing yourself. Like I said, every week, even in the AJS tribe, we bring somebody to come and teach us something. We do that. So self-development, like I said, is very, very important. And anyhow you can get it, you just need to get it. Whether it's a training locally, whether it's a training internationally, anytime you have the opportunity to develop yourself, you need to take advantage of that opportunity. I don't let any opportunity pass me by. I recently just did a program, which was titled Monetize Your Knowledge, and it really, really opened my eyes to some of the opportunities that are available. So if you don't take all these things, if you believe that you know everything, you will just sleep there. I wanted to raise money recently for something, and I just thought about something I had learned in that course, and I just brought out the product, and everything went in a whim, and I was able to make a lot of money that weekend, for what I wanted to do. So it's important for you to continuously learn different things. You might think you know everything, but it's not possible. Somebody else, even if it's something pandemic and everything that's going on, take advantage of all these free trainings and stuff that people are doing. You also need to pay for trainings. It's super important. People just want free stuff. You can't do it. You need to be able to pay for trainings, pay people like me, people like Trisha, people like Nadia Branching, people like, the different people all over social media that know their onions. People are good for specific things. There's some people that are good for Instagram. There's some people that are better for Twitter. Things like that. Learn from these people. Don't be scared to pay them. If you don't pay, and people don't understand that even when you even pay these people can eventually also help your business, because you have that one-on-one connection with these people. They can help you promote your business. They can help you. You can build a relationship with them. So if you don't want to release money to train yourself, you're doing yourself a disservice. So it's important for you to be able to bring out that money. That's when you take that course seriously.
Wow. Do you agree with the school of thought that our problem in Nigeria today, people are having the wrong education? Even when you have a PhD, but you are taking wrong courses. that will lead you to nowhere. Do you agree with that? A lot of people just go to school. I want to study psychology without thinking what will happen at the end of the day with that psychology.
I honestly don't think so, because I'm a product of that. I studied biochemistry. I don't think I'm really using it in my day-to-day today. I think education is much more than just the books. There are a lot of other things that you learn through school. So I think, you need to go to school. You need to learn. Some people finish with third class and they're doing extremely well today. I finished with a 2-2, and I'm proud to say it everywhere. When I went for my MBA, I finished like top of my class, but I didn't even think it was possible. I've kept throughout my life, I've kind of like yo-yoed. I got the best results when I was doing my JSCE. Even when they called my name on assembly, I was like, huh? What are you talking about? But I've yo-yoed through school. I've never been like down, but like I've been like, oh, today A, tomorrow B, like that. But like I said, if you're learning continuously, you find new opportunities, and don't be scared to move away from it. I don't know any, like my siblings, like one of my sisters, she studied medicine. She's not doing medicine anymore. She still understands the knowledge. I'm sure she still does maybe some small practice here and there, but it's not her core, day to day. My first sister, she did marketing. She's not really using it, but she's using the skills in her business. So my point is, whatever you do in school, don't let it define you. If you see that you're using it later, biochemistry that are now programmers, those are new courses that are coming up that will help with the future of work. Develop yourself. Those things. I hated programming when I was in school, but it's like I'm going to go back and learn programming now. So it's important for you to continuously see how you can learn new skills, learn information. Whatever you learn in school, it doesn't really matter. You can redefine your life, as you go on.
Well, the reason I said that, yes, I'm also a product of that. I studied Yoruba for my first degree and did a master in English. But of experimenting with your course of studies, I think it's getting dangerous now. Why don't you, instead of navigating and meandering through education, why don't you have people who can advise us from the beginning, even as you are filling your JAM forms, so they can tell you, if you study this, these are the opportunities available. Maybe you were exceptional, maybe I was exceptional, but how many Yoruba graduates today will be able to navigate their way, even if it's a struggle for you to even finish your university? Now you want to go and do MBA after doing Yoruba. It's like with where maybe government, and I know Lagos State is working on that, where government now begin to lay emphasis on vocational studies. That's where I'm going.
Yes, very, very important. That's actually very true. When I was in Nigerian Breeze, there was a program that we wanted to do, which was like vocational studies, where we had already taken down like a building that we're going to use to like train people in different things like plumbing and stuff like that. And we're supposed to partner with government to make sure that project, worked and was sustainable. But guess what? The project didn't take off because we couldn't find any government agency to say they wanted to take the project over after 5 years. And that was really bad, because you've seen a company who is willing to invest millions and millions of naira into developing, people in that particular community. But just because of sustainability issues, you can't really take on that project. So things like that. So vocational studies or vocational trainings are very, very key. But I hope, like you said, government is going to take, vocational studies very seriously, because in the past, even when they've seen people who were willing to do it, they didn't really take it seriously. But hopefully now they'll take those things seriously, because we need good people. We don't have good people we don't have good mechanics. We don't have good carpenters. We don't have enough. There's some good ones, but I don't think they're enough. And these are skills that people can do, and they can still, live off from, even if they don't, finish university.
I think to be successful, you need inspiration. You need something or someone to inspire you. Could you tell us that inspired you?
Okay, some of the people who have inspired me obviously are my parents. They're very, very hardworking. My family is very, very, I have a lot of family members who are really, really hardworking. So they inspire me to do everything I do. And they're very, like, my dad is very, very super disciplined. Like, when he says he's going to do something, he's going to do it. So I'm really, really inspired by him. Another person who I've never met, and I never met, and he's passed now. His life really, really inspired me. Kobe Bryant, like the way he was dedicated to everything he was doing. I feel like he's a male version of me, or he was a male version of me. So that's somebody that he really, really inspired me. Everything he did, from his family to his basketball, how dedicated he was, how one-way traffic he was. I feel like he's me. So the Mamba mentality, I tell my staff all the time, you need to have that Mamba mentality, the mentality of not giving up no matter what. That's somebody who really, really, really inspires me. Other people I love are Meghan Markle and Oprah Winfrey. I really, really love them. I love how Meghan Markle is so passionate about women empowerment. I've loved her from the time when she was in Suits, and now she's who she is and all of that. Those are people that really, really inspire me, and I see a lot of myself in them, and I know that if they I want to achieve.
Okay, now if you look behind me, you can see my inspiration in books. Could you tell us about the books that you read along the line that really
helped me? Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I remember my dad coming into my room one day and said, "Ife, you must finish this book. You must read it." I think that was a book that really, really helped me growing up. It's helped even now. Like, I still go back to it and just try to learn things about savings and managing my money and stuff like that. So that's a book that was really, really life-changing. Life-changing for me. I think my husband is watching this.
Okay.
Just sent me a message.
Okay. Any other books?
Other books. My book. I'll promote my book. Yes. Yeah, so my book is there. Other books that I love. Let me see. Anyway, let's just leave it at Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Okay. Yeah. I love to look at experience and exposure. Your combined experience and exposure have helped you over time, and try to be specific.
So, well, I would not lie that I've been.
Okay, let's look at the different job opportunities that you've had. I mean, you were speaking about Nigerian breweries that I did this, okay. So I'm more specific. And then when I talk about you've traveled to a few places. Mm-hmm. Yeah. How did that affect you? It's a form of education.
Education, yeah. Traveling has been super helpful for me. But the funny thing is, there's some jobs that I did that I didn't even talk about that really, really defined me. So there was a job I did. It was a sales job. It was like door-to-door marketing, where we had to like really, really go to different houses to go and pitch different projects, different programs, different products and stuff like that. And that was what I did when I was with Arcadia. And trust that job. They told us, like, we had trainings every morning when we got into work, and we knew that we would talk to 100 people and only 3 people would say yes. I know my friends who did that job that fainted. It was impossible. Like, we had to do it in the rain, in the sun, in the snow. And guess what? That job really, really, like, that's why today, like, that's why I have a thick skin, because if you tell me no, like, I'm not even angry with you. I know I'm expecting it, because I already understood that you will sell a product to 100 people. You go on their doors to literally knock. There was a time I was even working, I got into a house and a dog just jumped. So I was was wearing the company outfit, which said, "Oh, RSPCA," which is like you're supposed to be loving dogs and stuff like that. And I got to the house, and the dog just jumped on me. But I had to like really like pretend like, oh my god, this dog is so cute. But I was almost dying. So my point is, my point is, I learned a lot from that job because for whatever you're doing, whether entrepreneurship, whatever you do, you have to be able to sell 100 anything. So now everybody tells me, "Faye, you can sell ice to the Eskimos." I'm like, yeah, because I've done it over and over and over again. So that job, I hit my target every day. So we're supposed to be making, so we're selling to 3 people. I used to sell like 6 every day because people, they'll give me like double payments and stuff. So those, and because we're doing it in the rain, my mom literally had to come and take me. She said, "If you're not working this place again," but I learned so much. Like my resilience, like we couldn't even lean on the wall in the office. Used to come. So that job really helped me. There were other jobs that I did, like just because I wanted extra income. I would do things like serving kids in school. I feel like those things really humbles you. I didn't come from I wasn't hungry and all of that. But I could still do those jobs and I did them well. I was happy doing them. I was happy meeting the people. So my point is, people don't really understand that there are times that, tough times come. You just need to sit up. You need to wake up and smell the coffee. You need to, no, there are times where I had to do a lot of things that, I just had to do them. I had to do different jobs. I'll go on for summer holiday. I'll still work, I'll still try to learn a skill. I feel like those things are really important, and those things are really missing when you're just in Nigeria, because in Nigeria you hardly see people who do summer internships and stuff like that. But once we start to do that, you start learning some sort of discipline. As you're growing up, you start learning how to deal with people. Now, these days, if you tell people, "Oh, help me take my bag up," they'll start bullying. They'll be angry, like, "Why are you sending that kind of message? I'm here to work. Oh, I know my rights." Who cares? You have to learn those things. Be able to start from the bottom, no matter where you're coming from. You have to understand that you're not going to always be up. There's sometimes that you go down and you have to start from scratch all over again, and you have to be okay with it. So I think those are some of the defining moments, in my life that I've had that, really shaped my thinking, shaped a lot of things that I've done. I've traveled, I've done all that. I think a lot of people have done all that as well. Some people might have not had the opportunity to. You can travel in Nigeria. I know somebody who told me, if I travel through books. And guess what? She's gone back to her village now, and she's going to build a library for the people in her village. So those are the kind of things that you have to do wherever you. For the first time she traveled was, I think, last year, but she traveled through books in her mind. She had been to London. She was very imaginative and all of that. You yeah, the thing back in the day we didn't have those things, but that's why you have books. Books will help you. Books will show you the world. Movies. Just try to just learn from all those things. Yes, all the same. Humility is key. Humility is what I live by. Like anywhere you catch me, I'm super humble. It's so important because you don't know who will help you. You don't know who would help you tomorrow. So yeah, so I think that sales job opened my eyes to a lot of things, and it taught me a lot of things about resilience, sales, things like sales strategy, sales tactics, things like keeping up with the Joneses, how people just like to do what their neighbors are doing, and you can relate it to today. I use all those skills today. So back in the day, it might be your neighbor because obviously maybe there was no social media, but today it's your friend on Instagram that's your neighbor. So you can say, "Oh, my friend on Instagram bought from your friend from Instagram bought from me. So I think you would also like it too." There's all those techniques and all of that. It really helps, and it really separates you from other people who haven't gone through some of those things, and you get better. You get better at it. So yeah.
Yes, I love your point on the issue of traveling through books. We didn't have computers in our days. We didn't have Google. We didn't have anything. But I knew Kenya before I went to Kenya, reading Ngugi Wathiongo, Weep Not Child, The River Queen, and all, are not yet born, Kwame Nkrumah, Kofi Awuno, and all. I knew Cameroon through Mongo Betty, we knew South Africa through Alex Laguma, we knew Zambia through Zambia Shall Be Free by Kenneth Kaunda, we knew about Tanzania via the Mwalimu Julius Nyerere, who was the president at that time. So it's good if those watching us can at least try to read a book, even if it's just one book in a month. There is always something there for every one of us. Now, I want us to talk about the subject that most people don't like, failure. What attitude to failure? And if you were to advise in a bit, what would you suggest about dealing with failure?
What I tell people is don't let failure stop you. Like, there are times where me, I'm a risk taker. I'll just dive into it and fall flat on my face. But I don't care. Like, that's why I just stand up and just keep it going. I don't let failure stop me. I don't let fear stop me. And I'll talk about some instances. When I started the furniture business, I started seeing a lot of opportunities in the kids industry as a whole. So I decided to start a kids clothing business. But I didn't want to sew, but I wanted to have my own clothing line. So I started working with the local manufacturers here. And so I did the first order, everything went well. I sold out, everything was nice. Then I now pumped in plenty money, thinking that, this time they're going to get it. Hey, everything was rubbish. I know Nigerians, they don't really have work ethic, they don't have conscience. So she didn't even the company, they didn't even say, okay, let me give you a percentage. For like a year, I didn't even say pim about it. I didn't talk about it. I first chilled and just drank that cold water very well and took it in good stride. And when I just thought about it again, like a year later, okay, I analyzed my wrongs and all the things I didn't do properly. I said, you know what? I wouldn't try to do this. It must be made in Nigeria by fire by force. I will look for manufacturers who are good, but give them smaller quantities, and they'll work with them. And I can find those people, and then I will also see people who can also manufacture for me abroad. So I was now mixing and matching it because I lost so much money and I fell flat on my face. Like, all my money went down the drain. So that's one of the examples of failure. Other examples of failure are, the times where I said I applied for different things and I didn't get in. First time, second time. In fact, the first time I thought I was even going to have like a heart attack if I had gotten the message and it said I didn't get in. Because that year, I had met the head of the alumni association and he was like, oh, you're the perfect person for this program. I think you're so amazing. We are looking for your type, blah, blah, blah. So in my mind, I was already inside. I'd already been shortlisted, So I was really, really expectant. I cried, but, you move on from it and all of that. After some time, I realized that maybe it wasn't my time yet, and eventually I got selected, like I said, this year. There are other opportunities like that I've applied to, and I didn't get it. So, and when you get that rejection email, it's really, really painful. Even with Nigerian breweries, like when I didn't get the role that I wanted, I always tell people, wherever you find yourself, do your best. At first it was sad. Like, I was like, why did they pick my friend over me? My friend is even watching here. The person that they selected her over me in marketing, and I was like, why? I have an MBA, blah, blah, blah. But guess what? I'm happy and she's happy as well. And I learned a lot in the role that I was in. I just took it in good stride and I just said, you know what? I'm not going to act frustrated because I'm here. I'm just going to come because it didn't give me what I wanted. I'm just going to try to do the best that I can for now. And then whenever somebody sees my value, maybe they might call me to come and work in marketing. Maybe not. Maybe I might just leave. And that's what happened eventually. So failure is, you continue failing. It can never end. I tried to launch a platform in December. I had made all the noise. I was just launched on my birthday. I had done a photo shoot. I had done video shoot. I had done everything. Everything was already arranged. On the day of my birthday, the platform crashed, I cried blood. I had wasted so much money. In fact, my staff had even slept to police station because we had to go to the developer's place. Like it was a mess. I cried, but I picked myself back up. So it will happen all the time. People coming to steal your idea. And it's all part of the agony. Continue looking for ways to just reinvent yourself and continue moving on, and just try to, you're alive. You just have to make it work. That's how I see it. So don't ever let failure, of the fear of failure or fear of anything, stop you from doing what you're going to do. Just do it, afraid, no matter how scared you are. Before I came on this call, I was sweating. I was like, oh my God, I'm panicking, blah, blah, blah. But I still did it anyway, and now I'm comfortable. So I guess, everybody's...
That's why, the last thing I asked you was your favorite songs and all that.
Yes.
So we make it like, my dream was to be a teacher. That was I couldn't find a job of teaching. That's what brought me to Lagos. Otherwise, I would have remained in Ife. I mean, lecturers in those days were the biggest superstars. It's not like a superstar is, you have to be a movie star or a music star. Okay. Now, there's something Chief Moshood Abiola used to say that I liked. Well, I don't know if it's still valid today. He was fond of saying hard work is prayer in action. Do you think hard work really is what is needed today, or is it more of passion? Or
I think it's hard work and smart work. So if it was hard work alone, I think the brick look for ways to do things, better. Also, obviously you have to be passionate about it. But I tell people, if you're doing something that is good, if you're doing something of value and you're seeing lives change, you're earning an income, the passion will come. The passion will come. So it's important for you to be smart about the work that you're doing. If not, you just be working so hard, and nobody's seeing you. So if you're working hard and then you're adding visibility, you're adding your branding, you're building your personal brand, that is smart work. And those things would actually add and come together to, make whatever you're doing. It also makes it better. I'm an advocate of fun. Like, I call myself the enjoyment minister. I like to enjoy myself. So I always try to, have fun and make whatever I'm doing fun, whether it's a meeting, whether it's a retreat, whether it's work, my office, my colleagues know me. Like, we just try to have fun as much as we can, even while we're working, because we're always working. We're always working.
Now, what is the role of faith in human?
Faith is very important, and since 2014 or 2015, I've not done anything without really, really putting it in the hands of God. Like, I think before I was just, sailing through life. I was just doing anyhow. But I went for a program, and it really, really changed my life. It was a program called Sorting Out. And I just started seeing things differently. So even when I was leaving my job, so literally nobody was chasing me from Nigerian Breeze. When I was leaving, my boss was like, he was told me I don't know where I'm going because I like the money that I'm collecting from here, So I didn't really understand why I was going, but God had given me clear instructions to leave, and I left. And for a year, I was broke, and I couldn't really understand. I was like, God, but you said you would provide, but something would just happen. Like, money would just come from nowhere. And then by the end, so I left my job in 2017. So by the end of 2018, things just started, opening up. That was when I started thinking about writing my book and stuff like that. So God was very, very intentional when he said I should leave. I didn't really know why I was leaving. I knew that, okay, I had a business that I could do and stuff. In my mind, I was willing to, focus on my business. But now that I've left, I've seen that, God has called me to do bigger things. There was a night I was tired. I was even crying. I was like, and it's funny that you asked me about faith. I don't really, if you notice, when I was talking before, I didn't really talk about it. But that night I had a dream, and I had like an angelic visitation where, God literally told me, or sent an angel to tell me that I would liberate a lot of women. And I was like, okay. So after that day, I received like fresh ginger, I was okay, I was good to go and all of that. So, it's very, very important for you to be very, very, close to God. I wake up every morning at 4 a.m. to pray. I don't joke, I don't miss my my 4 a.m. prayers, and anytime I try to like anything I think happens, I'm like, God, I told you, come and answer me. I don't understand what's going on here, and he literally answers me, especially when it's something that I have to make a decision now. So God really, really comes through, for me. I don't think I'm the most spiritual, spiritual person, but in all, in the past, few years that I've really, really been intentional about building my relationship with God, God has it's I don't play with God. I make sure that God is at the forefront and he knows everything I'm doing. Like, sometimes I even forget that. Sometimes I'll forget. I'll be like, God, I forgot to tell you tell you that I was going to do, so please forgive me. And now just bring me back to speed and stuff like that. So God really, really comes through, and faith is super important in anything that you're doing.
Wow, we've done 1.5 hours already. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, yeah. I'll take 2 more topics.
Okay.
Let's talk about your life as an activist.
Okay. My life as an activist. So I stand for women. So anything women empowerment that I understand. Obviously, I'm a feminist, but I feel like people don't really understand the true meaning of feminism. They just feel like, oh, feminists, they're angry with men, blah, blah, blah. No. For me, feminism means equal opportunities. So anytime I have the opportunity to stand for women and be a voice for women, I always come through. So there was a case of rape with a pastor, and I'm not going to mention the pastor's name. I proudly went to where he was located with a placard, and I was like, say no to rape, stuff like that. So I'm a huge advocate for things that concern women, especially empowering women socioeconomically. I feel like it's super important. I don't feel like women shouldn't work. I had that to work. If you don't want decision to tell you whether or not to work, I feel like we're all adults. We should all be responsible enough to take some decisions that can influence you, can make or break you, stuff like that. So for me, I feel like there's some things that women should do. Women should have their own money at any time, because anything can happen. Like, no matter what your husband is giving you, no matter who your husband is, even if it's the president, governor, I've seen people go from hero to zero very quickly. It's happened to so many people around me. So I feel like as long as you're alive, as long as you're every day, if you don't have any way to look after your kids, but find a way to balance things. Get help. Try to structure yourself in a way that you can still have a balanced life, not that you're staying at home, because it always ends up in tears when you don't.
Wow. Interesting. Okay, the final one is that you said you will be a president one day. So tell me about how you plan to move.
How I plan to move.
Nigeria, murky waters. So
I'm still learning the ropes. I'm speaking to a couple of young politicians and trying to see how they've been able to navigate the murky waters. One of the people that I've been speaking to is Honorable Shea at the side. He's just trying to help me understand what as well, just to understand how things are done, understand history better, understand the way things work then and the way things are working now. I know that I have to join a party that we have shared values, similar values, but it's also important for me to join a party where I can also make a difference. So for me, it's not even about a role or power. It's about making a difference, especially in the lives of women. I feel like women are we cannot just leave like half of the world's population not being empowered. So I feel like if I'm in a position of authority, I'll be able to empower more and more women. there was a time I met the minister, former minister, I won't say which, for women affairs, and she wasn't really a woman's woman. And I was like, why would this woman be in this position and not be a woman's woman? Like, I found it very weird. If you had the opportunity to help, women around you, women who I feel are smart, women who, you can actually make a difference in their lives, and you don't, do that, then what are you there for? So it really, really made me start to think that, I need to get one of these, be in these positions to actually just impact the lives of more women, whatever way I can. So in my own capacity, I already do it. I already work with even some local governments to try to impact, people in my own community and stuff. And I know that when the time is right, I'll make the right decision, right party, and all of that to get me to where I eventually will be able to impact more people on a larger scale.
Now, you say you want to be president. You are dreaming of being president one day. What are the issues, apart from women, that you think we need to do urgently in Nigeria? And do you but the solution are quite...
Okay, I feel like the main problem we have in Nigeria is education. If people have the right education, a lot of things will be different. If we can ensure that people go to school, the teachers are actually teaching because they like teaching, not because they do not get employed. So once we try to change that narrative and impact the lives of people from when they're young, especially through education, things will be different. We would understand our rights. We would know that okay, we should be our brother's keeper. Education, like I said, education is beyond books. It's beyond just going to school and doing things, in a systematical way. It teaches you a lot more about life. So I feel like education is the first place. Education is number one place I feel like we have the most problems in Nigeria. Poverty as well. But I feel like education also helps people, be elevated from poverty. So, which is why I said education first. So education and poverty, just try to come up with creative ways, creative means to help people live above the poverty line, through... Also, another thing that I would really, really promote is entrepreneurship. And not just entrepreneurship as in starting a business, just pushing people to have that entrepreneurial mindset and let them know that, wherever you find yourself, you have to be able to make things work and not just wait for people to get things done for you. So those are some of the things that I would do.
Okay. I wish you the best of luck. Definitely, I'll watch out for my future president. I'll be very, very delighted. Yes, when that happens. Yes, you mentioned it on my program. 3 key things you must watch out for will be money, money, money. That's number 1. I called money 3 times. And that's what they do in America. And I'm hoping that in your generation, it's much better and people will be willing to support, because we must be all stakeholders in issues of leadership. If we allow a leader to spend all his own personal money, it means that he's coming there to do business. He's not coming there to serve. So we hope that you take care of that so you can deal with the issue of funding. The other one is ethnicity. Okay, you are Yoruba, originally from Ogun State. So, are you Muslim or Christian?
I'm Christian.
You are Christian, okay. Okay, so it means you now have to look for another Muslim as your partner. So, so once you deal with money, you deal with ethnicity and religion, then you have started. So keep those 3 in mind,
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Yes. So on this note, I think we've done well. Normally, I thought, we won't pass 1 hour, but from your passion, I knew we were like it. So we've done about 1 hour, 40 minutes now. So I want to thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. I really enjoyed the conversation.
Thank you. Thank you. So if you have any parting words, please feel free. We can give you a minute.
at the end of anything. Don't let fear stop you. I used to be that scared, shy girl, but I think now I'm more comfortable in my own skin. I'm trying to be fearless and all of that. So I think everyone listening, please don't let fear stop you. Take advantage of the opportunities that are around you. Apply for the AGS Enterprise Challenge for women, please. You guys, we're about to change the game for female entrepreneurs in Nigeria, so y'all better apply. Tell your friends, tag all the friends that you have that are female entrepreneurs. Tell them to apply for it. All you need to do is literally a 1 minute pitch. Don't let the fear or shame have their lives have transformed. And they've been on this call. There's Miriam of Mobile Care. There's Tabitha. Oh, she just said hello. Yes. Oh, and my mom is here as well. Hi, mommy. My mom is here.
Wow.
The people whose lives I've seen transform right in front of my eyes with little funding. So trust me, your life is about to be transformed, and I'll do everything in my capacity to ensure that you have all the help, network, mentorship, funding, and everything that you need to take your business to the next level.
Thank you so much. And on this, we'll play you your Beyonce.
Yes.